And here are my League 2 predictions for the 2025-26 campaign. Starting off at the bottom, in 24th, I've got Harrogate Town. I'm not convinced of their summer transfer business so far. I just feel like their squad isn't enough currently for them to stay up, in my opinion. 23rd, I've gone with Newport County. You know, you look last season, finished 22nd, just above the relegation zone. In the end, I think could be a season where Newport County face relegation. 22nd, and just staying up, I've gone with Accrington Stanley. I think they've got good quality players in there, the likes of Ben Woods, Sean Wally, that could keep them up. Obviously, they can keep hold of Ben Woods, that'll be a massive boost. My only worry with Accrington is the firepower up front, but I think they'll just stay up. 21st, I've gone with Cheltenham Town. They need that takeover to happen sooner rather than later, and they need to keep hold of Ethan Archer and Jordan Thomas. If they do that, they could push on higher, but at the moment, I don't think their squad is good enough to push up any higher in the league. I've gone with 21st. 20th, I've gone with recently promoted Oldham Athletic. Oldham brought some good experience, the likes of Ryan Woods and Donovan Daniels, but I think they're lacking a bit of creativity in the midfield, especially. I think definitely missing a bit of creative spark in there. If they can get a couple of players in there, they could push higher, but at the moment I've got them in 20th. 19th, I've gone with Shrewsbury Town. Brought in some, obviously, promotion winners from last season, likes of Tom Anderson at the back and Tom Sang, but I just think the atmosphere around Shrewsbury off the field could correlate again on the field in terms of, you know, kind of what's going on off the scenes, and I'm not sure about Michael Appleton. Is it the right fit for Shrewsbury? We'll wait and see. 18th, I've gone with Crewe Alexandra. Crewe got off to a brilliant start last season, then second half of the season, they did really fall down the league. I think they definitely need to bring in a few more players because I do worry about their kind of squad depth at this present time. 17th, I've gone with Barnet. This is a prediction I could be proven wrong with massively. I think they've got a good manager there with Dean Brennan, and they've got a solid squad for League 2 level. I just think there's kind of a few sides with stronger squads above them in my predictions, but this is one I could be proven wrong with massively. 16th, I've gone with Bromley. I think all depends if Michael Cheat does stay at the football club or not. Obviously, it's been rumoured that he's handed in a transfer request. If they do lose him, it'll be a big loss in terms of just his goals and obviously what he brings to the side in terms of that presence up front. But they've got a good manager there in Andy Woodman, and I still believe they'll be really competitive in League 2 next season. 15th, I've gone with Tranmere Rovers. Look, it'd be an improvement from last season where they're in a relegation battle, but a club like Tranmere should be pushing towards the top end of this division, and I've been impressed with a couple of the signings, the likes of Ethan Bristow. I think it's a brilliant signing to bring him back to the football club. Richie Smallwood in the midfield as well. I definitely think they're lacking firepower up front, and that could prevent them pushing on going into this season. 14th, I've gone with Barrow. I think they'll have a solid season under Andy Wing. Obviously, was appointed in January. You can see the style of play that they played towards the back end of the season really did work, and it was getting results against sides that were fighting for promotion last season. Obviously, they've lost three key midfielders in there, the likes of Robbie Gott, Kean Spence and Dean Campbell, but I think the likes of Raheem Harper, I think if he's fully fit and gets games week in, week out, I think he'll prove good quality in there. Jack Evan as well has got a point to prove after having a couple of injuries at Walsall. Tyler Walker the same as well. And I think Andy Wing's a good gaffer and he'll get Barrow playing. I think they'll have a solid season. 13th, I've gone with my side, Walsall. I hope I'm really proven wrong with this one, and I hope we obviously finish a lot higher up and it's a successful campaign. And the only way this season is successful is if we get promoted. Obviously, look at last season, we missed out on that, and we've got to go one step further this season and get promoted. At the moment, though, very much unknown what's going to happen in Walsall going into the new season. Obviously, Matt Sadler, the manager, he's got to get off to a good start. I fear if he gets off to a bad start, then, you know, it could turn a little bit toxic at Walsall. Some good signings made. I like in the signing of Harrison Burke at the back. I think there'll be some big seasons in there, the likes of Aaron Presley and Rico Brown. Obviously lost a couple of good players, the likes of Taylor Allen and Ryan Sturck, who's gone to Chesterfield. I'm still kind of concerned about the quality in the forward area in terms of the depth there and in a couple of other positions currently. 12th, I've gone with Notts County. Really unsure what to think about Notts County going into this season. Obviously, the process with getting Martin Patterson, that took a long time to obviously get him appointed. And then, obviously, the statement they've released about their approach to Border going into next season, I don't think it's a good approach from Notts County. But they've still got some good quality in there, the likes of Jody Jones and Alessandro Jatta, if they do keep him. If he's on form like he was in the first half of last season, then he'll be a real asset up front. Obviously lost David McGoldrick, that's a massive loss, and obviously Alex Bass in goal, but I think they'll finish in and around mid-table at the moment. In 11th, I've gone with Crawley Town. Brilliant manager with Scott Lindsay, understands that football club and has been successful in this division with Crawley before. Obviously lost a few key players, obviously from the side from last season, but kept a lot of the good players who obviously had League One experience. I know they got relegated, but the odds were against them going into that season with a lot of the side that got promoted from League Two to League One leaving, and I think kind of the players that brought in will kind of suit Scott Lindsay in the way he likes to go. Players that want to prove a point, they like to Dion Pereira, Danny Cashman and Harry McCurdy, and I think they'll have a season where they'll have a playoff push in my opinion. 10th, I've gone with Gillingham. Good experienced manager in Gareth Ainsworth, who finished the season strongly at Gillingham last season. I think they've got a good experienced side. I think defensively they're going to be solid, but for me, only worry with Gillingham that could prevent them getting into the top 7 again is if they're going to score goals regularly. Look over the last couple of seasons, they've struggled in front of goal, and I think that could prevent them again going into this season. We've got Cambridge at 9th, another manager who's experienced and won promotions in Neil Harris, and you've got Mark Bonner now as a director of football, obviously understands the football club, won a promotion with Cambridge out of this division before. They've got a solid side. I'm impressed with their midfield, Dominic Ball, and they've got Corey Smith in there as well when he's fully fit, and obviously Mpanzu. Again, I think they're lacking numbers up front currently. I think Shane Lavery's a good striker, but struggled with injuries last season and definitely need to bring in a few more players up there. 8th, I've gone with Fleetwood Town, and obviously just missing out on the top 7. Got a good manager in Peter Ward. Look at the job he's done in League 2 level with Barrow. They finished 8th and 9th over 2 seasons, and I think you'll get Fleetwood getting results, playing some good stuff as well. They're going to be organised. They're going to be a disciplined side. Brought some good players as well. They like to Denver Hume. I think that's a good signing. Will Davis up front as well. I think we'll have a good season in the EFL, and I think they'll just miss out, but obviously be an improvement from last season. Into the top 7 then, and at 7th, I've gone with Colchester United. The job Danny Kelly's done at Colchester has been a good one so far, and I think they'll progress into the top 7 next season. I think they've got some good players in that side, the likes of Jack Payne, Awura Edwards, Arthur Reed as well. I think he's a real good player, and I haven't really lost too many players so far as well. Still need to bring in some more players, but I think Danny Kelly will get him into the top 7 next season. 6th, I've gone with David Artell's Grimsby. I think another side, similar to Colchester, obviously just missed out last season. I think they'll progress going into this season and finish in the top 7. Been impressed with their summer transfer business so far. Liking the signings. I think they're building a good squad. They showed their qualities last season. A little bit inconsistent, but if they get the consistency, I think they'll finish in the top 7 because they've got a good manager there with David Artell, who plays some good football. 5th, I've gone with Swindon Town. Finished the season strongly under Ian Holloway last season. I think they'll continue that into the new campaign. Kept a lot of the players from last season. Got a good spine to the side with Harry Smith, Ollie Clark and Will Wright in defence. And I think they've got a good blend of experience and obviously youth players as well, using the academy. And I think Ian Holloway will get him playing again, playing some attacking football, scoring goals, and I think they'll finish 5th. 4th, and obviously just missing out on the top 3, I've gone with Salford City. Again, I'm liking the look of their side, Salford. Lost a few key players, the likes of Tyrese Forner and Curtis Tilt from last season, but I think the replacements have been good. Got a good side and a good manager, and I think Salford will finish in the top 7 next season. To the top 3 then, I've gone with Bristol Rovers in 3rd. Darryl Clark returns to the club, and I think they'll have that feel-good factor going into the season. And I think, obviously, with the experience of Darryl Clark, he's won back-to-back promotions with Bristol Rovers before, and he's building a decent side. I definitely think they need a few more quality players in terms of the attacking areas, but I think they're building a good side. Keep Connor Taylor and Camille Conter. I definitely think they'll be challenging. 2nd, I've gone with MK Dons. Pretty much everyone's favourite to win the league, but I think they'll just miss out on the title, but I think they'll get promoted. Obviously gone down a different route this season in terms of Paul Warner being more of a direct approach with experienced players, but I think it'll work. Paul Warner's done it before at League 1 level and won promotions. Brilliant signing so far, like Mendes Lang, Aaron Collins, Will Collar. Got the experience and a good manager, and I think they'll get promoted. My only worry with MK Dons is defensively at the moment. At first, I've gone with Chesterfield. I think they'll win League 2 this season. I think their squad's looking strong. I think obviously last season, gone to the top 7 when a lot of people have written them off. I think they'll use that from last season, going into this season. I think they'll go stronger. Got a quality side like Amanda Dober, Dylan Markande, and I think they'll have a great season under a brilliant gaffer. There are my League 2 predictions for the 2025-26 season. Leave your League 2 predictions in the comments.